In 2017, a trailer dropped that confused a whole lot of people. It was a goose stealing things and honking at some dude. Everyone asked, what is this game? Untitled Goose Game? Okay, so it'll eventually get a title, and the game will make more sense, right? Well, no. Untitled Goose Game released with the same goose stealing and honking at things, and even the same title. And it took the internet by storm. Originally released on PC and Switch before jumping over to other consoles. This was quickly just loved by people on Twitter and Reddit, and they just really enjoyed how much of a jerk the goose actually was. Today, I'm going to take a look at the graphics, the gameplay, and the minimalism of Untitled Goose Game to see why do people love this game, and also to put it on my game list. I want to start off with what first drew people's attention, the graphics. This game has a more unique art style that I haven't seen, or at least noticed, in games lately. It's a cartoon art style, but with no outlines, just a real plain and almost painting-like style. This makes everything seem oddly more realistic? I don't think that's necessarily the right phrase I want to use, but it describes how I feel going around the game and looking at everything. There's so many interactable objects in the environment, and the graphics make it cool to do so. Watching the goose interact with all the objects in the environment is fun, but there's also the people in this game. Watching them scare or be scared by the goose can be a treat. The main part of the graphics as well is making sure the mood of the non-playable characters comes through clearly, and this game does very well with that. Even with the characters not really having faces, you know if they're scared, angry, etc. On top of all of that, I enjoy the confrontations some people have due to the goose's antics. It can be a real treat to see what the ultimate consequences are for the things you do as the goose. Due to all of that, the graphics get 67 points. In Untitled Goose Game, you play as a goose. This means you get to do goose things, like swim and waddle, even honk. Oh, and you also pick up items from around the area, or the people are holding. This is the core mechanic of Untitled Goose Game, is taking items and putting them in new locations to solve puzzles and, in general, make things happen. You have a task list that is somehow written out on a legal pad. Wait, how does a goose write down tasks on a legal pad? Anyway, you have a task list, and your job is, as the goose, is to take whatever and annoy whoever it takes to complete the tasks. This sounds so simple, but the environment the goose wanders makes it more fun. Do you want to take the gardener all the way to some part of the water, or do you want to try and just sneak around him to get what you need? There are some puzzles in the game where you feel like you know what steps need to be taken, but you're just stuck on the order to do them in to finish the puzzle. Now, as a guy who loves puzzles, I actually really enjoy this because it made me try things and think in ways that I originally wasn't. This let me figure out the solution on my own, even if I was a little slow sometimes to get it. Overall, I'm going to give the gameplay 67 points. My final category for this game is minimalism. With the awesome stuff this game has, it does it in a really cool minimalistic way. The graphics I talked about before have almost painting-like style, and it keeps things really simple. Every object just exists, and even if you're looking at the screen and there are 20 objects, it still feels simple and, well, minimalistic. Besides that, as I mentioned before in the gameplay, you have some simple controls for what you can do. The minimalism and design of the controls really means a lot. Sometimes there are even moments where, the music's going to react to what you're doing in the game, and I think that's really interesting. The audio is basically definition background noise in the best way. It doesn't try to interrupt what you're doing, it's just there to exist and be enjoyed by the player. I think this game hits minimalism notes in ways that other games try and really fail to do, and because of that, I want to give this category 79 points. Untitled Goose Game is truly one of a kind. I remember watching the trailer about 3 years ago now and being so confused, and I think that's truly one of the things that made this game so attractive to me and made me and many others willing to check it out. With both graphics and gameplay at 67 points, minimalism at 79 points, and that throws Untitled Goose Game at 213 points. This hits a really good spot for me when I'm looking at it on my list because, it's above games like Gears of War, 1 and 2, but it's below games like God of War and Fire Emblem, Three Houses. However, no matter where the game ends up on the list, I give it a rating of definitely play it. Just play it, please, because it's a game that I truly enjoyed going through. With all that being said, thanks for watching my videos today. If you want to see more of what I have, follow me here on YouTube or Twitter. Leave a comment too saying what games you want me to check out next. I'm always looking for new games, and so, I'll definitely be keeping my eye out. So, thank y'all.